Oh, their asha means, they they are in their asha of liberation, uh, is diluted. खत्म, कुछ नहीं मिलता उसको. मोघ आशा. Karma, some whatever karma that person may be doing, who is considered normal Krishna's form to be an ordinary human form, you know. Whatever they do karma, the result they don't get it. Their fruitive activity goes in vain. Mogha karma, no. And mogha jnana vichetasah, whatever gyan they have or they are trying to imbibe it, the purpose of it is also defeated. So basically, Krishna is saying very clearly, whatever they may do, if they deride my personal human form, considering to be the normal human, they are not going to get anything. Their hopes will be for liberation. Asha, karma, no, jnana is all defeated. Prabhupada writes a very beautiful purport. Please read.
There are
Read,
many,
Prabhuji.
yes, there are many devotees who assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as the absolute truth. For them, the fruit of devotional service going back to Godhead will never be tasted. Similarly, those who are engaged in fruitive, pious activities and who are ultimately hoping to be liberated from the material engagement will never be successful either, either because they desire the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. In other words, persons who mock Krishna are to be understood to be demonic or atheistic. As described in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, should I stop, bro?
No, you just read the Prabhuji highlighted portion. That's it. You'll be fine.
Okay, sorry, bro. Therefore, mental speculations to arrive at the absolute truth bring them to the false conclusion that the ordinary living entity and Krishna are not one and the same. With
Are
such
one
a
and the
false
same. Uh,
uh,
Not me,
are one
are one and the same. Yes. Uh,
are one and the same. With such a false conviction, they think that the body of any human being is now simply covered by material nature, and that as soon as one is liberated from this material body, there is no difference between God and himself. It is a great offense, therefore, to consider Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to be an ordinary man. Those who do not so are certainly deluded because they cannot understand the eternal form of Krishna. The Brihat Vishnu Samhita clearly states, move forward.
one who considers.
One who considers the body of Krishna to be material should be driven out from all the rituals and activities of the Shruti and the Smriti. And if one by chance sees his face, one should at once take bath in the Ganges to rid himself of infection. People jeer at Krishna because they are envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Their destiny is certainly to take birth after birth in the species of atheistic and demonic life.
Yeah. Yeah. So Prabhupada writes very clearly. So this verse actually talks about, about a devotee who may be, worshipping the Lord, but he is actually not very sure. He is yet doubtful about the personal form of the Lord, the human-like form of the Lord. So devotee, karmi, and jnani, these three people have been said. Any one of them, even a so-called devotee, actually, if he does not accept, that's why the proper writes the opening line of the purport is very beautiful. It's very alarming. That's not beautiful. There are many devotees who assumes themselves to be in Krishna consciousness. They are saying that I am in Krishna. And they assume themselves to be in Krishna consciousness and devotional service, but at heart do not accept the Supreme Personality of Krishna as the absolute truth. For them, fruit of devotional service is going to back to Godhead. will never be tasted. And our Acharya says, Arey, what to say about going back to Godhead? Because we have back to Godhead understanding is Golok Vrindavan. ये वैकुंठ में सालोक्य भी नहीं मिलने वाला है, जो कि परमात्मा वादी को मिल जाता है ना? जो who is a worshipper of Paramatma, he may get it salokya in Vaikuntha planet. No, but even these fellows will not get that also. And so one has to be very careful about it. It also means over here that those devotee who does not consider they are chanting Hare Krishna, maybe no somebody has said ना कर रहे हैं वो लोग अच्छी बात है, but they are not actually understanding Krishna to the absolute truth. साथ साथ कुछ और भी करते हैं, तो उनके लिए जो ये सीधे सीधे बोला गया है, ओ fruit of devotional service going back to Godhead will never be tasted. So it's quite alarming thing for us. So and similarly is for about these people who are doing karma and gyan, whatever they are looking for, they are not going to get it because it is truth. Karma and gyan also results what they are looking for actually gives the result if they add the element of bhakti into it. But bhakti is actually is beginning when bhakti begins when somebody accepts the form of the Lord and accepts the Lord as a supreme. No. This is the basic definition of a devotee. And that's why Mahaprabhu gave the three levels of definition of a devotee. One who chants once, also who chants. But the meaning is he understands that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and as a form, that person. Now, saying aside about these three kind of people, Prabhupada also says there are some people who feel like Mayavadis, who feel that that they think that a human body we are also simply we are covered by some material nature, and as soon as we become liberated, there will be no difference. So liberation में क्या होगा? So हम आत्मा हैं, आत्मा तो भगवान से भगवान जैसा ही है, भगवान सेम क्वालिटी है। तो जो आत्मा के ऊपर जो गंदगी बैठ गया है वो है शरीर का, द बॉडी, द मेंटल, द ग्रॉस बॉडी, द सटन, द ग्रॉस बॉडी। As soon as that is washed away, है ना, so as soon as washed away, we become God. Even those fellows, they are all these people all they can't get anything better. Their mental speculations to arrive at absolute truth them to the false conclusion. That's what happens with. And Prabhupada says it is a great offense, therefore, to consider Krishna as an ordinary man. And this verse is quite a dangerous verse, which it says that one should not even look at the face of such person. And if somehow if one looks at the face of such person, you know, they should take bath in the Ganga to rid himself of the infection. Please mute yourself, whoever is there. So that's what has been said. That's kind of is a remark over here. So said like that, actually we can also understand that as I said to you, these verses are about the three kinds of people: the devotee who's not so properly situated, and a karmi and a jnani. So Krishna is saying that because in the 11th verse he said about uh, these people deride my human life form. So what is the destination who does not accept your form is about this. And one has to be very clear that if somebody feels like some may deride the human form of Krishna, being a devotee also, like Prabhupada used to say about Mahatma Gandhi, na? Mahatma Gandhi ji actually, used to carry Bhagavad Gita all the time. But somebody asked him, "Oh, what is your Krishna?" Actually, he did so much of, so-called immoral activities with, other man's wives. What is that? And Gandhiji, I heard like that. Gandhiji said that, no, if that's what Krishna has done, then I reject. So he was so no. So it is obviously it is so mogha asha, and they can't be even getting salokya also. That's what's been said. So one should not deride the human form of the Lord, considering it to have a material body. So some people, they may quote you about they may obviously they may ask you if they know that you are the worshipper of the personality of the Godhead, they may ask you, अरे तो तुम्हारे भगवान को खून क्यों आता है? युद्ध में खून दिखा था कुरुक्षेत्र में, वो तुम्हारे भगवान ने ये your Lord when he was departing away from this world, that hunter shooted the arrow, there was a blood, and some people also say that he left the farm and then he went. This means his form was material form. Then how did the blood came and how all those things? No, no, this that specifically one has to be very clear. It's been said that that the Leela of the disappearance of the Lord from this world is exclusively to create faithlessness in the people's heart, those who are not so fixed up, so that the Kali Yuga can enter. The Kali can enter and make his kingdom reign, and his Kali Yuga begins. So we should be very clear that no, there is nothing. He is Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnam Udachyate. So he is Purna. He is nothing misses anything. So if he wants to exhibit exhibit the blood coming out of his body, he can exhibit it. There is no restriction to the Lord. Else how that feeling of Veera Rasa will come? When Bhishma is shooting arrows, actually some arrows was also said came and shoot at Krishna. So blood came, but that's how the Veera Rasa is being exchanged. So it is not to say like that, and so one has to know. One should never deride the human form of the Lord, thinking it to have some material. It's not an ordinary human form like us, right? No? So even if such anybody who does that, is all ashas are moga, is will be deprived of, and they'll be perplexed, vichetasaha. So so if so their karma, their jnana, whatever knowledge is there, they will become perplexed, vichetasaha. They having destroyed their powers of discrimination by the sin of rejecting me, because they have destroyed their all the powers will be destroyed because they have rejected me, the Supreme Brahman. Very ghastly things awaits for them. So, uh, so, so they become what? They become Rakshasa, right? Na? So what happens to them is this. One thing, what happens to them? They don't get the result of the activity or the goal that they were looking for. Moga asha, moga karmana, moga gyan vichetasah. Okay, but they don't get it. But what they get is this: is what uh, they take prakritim, right? Na? The last line of this verse, which says about what they get it. What they are going to get is prakritim rakshasim asurim chaiva prakritim mohinam shritaha, right? Na? So rakshasi asurim chaiva. So they become what? They take shelter of disposition of of violence. They take the shelter of of dispositions without power, without any discrimination. They go in mode of ignorance, which is predominated by violence, that is rakshasin, and or predominated by lust and pride, asurim, and that is why they are qualified to live in hell. Remember, Krishna has said, even being a devotee. So we should never deride it. There will be people who may be chanting Ram Ram, but they may say like that. We have to be very careful, and we should never get a doubt that no matter whatever pastime we may hear, you know, it appears to be going beyond our intelligence. How to understand that ये कैसे भगवान कर सकते हैं भाई. Don't deride his human form. Don't question his. No, if we don't, then for sure, Rakshasim, Asurim, Chaiva. You know. So this is why this verse is very, very alarming. One is that it does not avoid what we are looking for. Okay, okay, ठीक है. But problem, ये तो बहुत बड़ा problem है. Will be predominated by violence or predominated with the intense lust and pride. Asurim. They are two different Rakshas and Asura. Rakshas people are violent, have predominated, and Asuric people are lustful and prideful. That's what it said. So next verse, 9.13. So 9.13 says about actually 9.13 is actually about saying that uh, so okay, so 12th you said that what happens to people who deride his human form like form. 13 talks about his Mahatmas. 13 and 14 verse talks about Mahatmas, the devotees actually who worship Krishna constantly with devotion, who are Mahatmas. So how do they worship Krishna and what is the result they get of worshipping the human-like form of the Lord? You know? So that's what is said over here in the next verse. So
So
next verse will recite.
Hare
Any
Krishna.
questions? Yes,
Yes,
yes.
Prabhu, I have a doubt. Suppose we have a family member who is, Mayavadi. So how to deal with them? Because Prabhupada has wrote, we have to take bath in Ganga.
It is to first, if you are in Pune, there's no Ganga, to be honest with. Then also what it means is that we should be far away from that person's conception about the absolute truth. You know, we should not associate with his that part, and we should never, you know, try to hear him with faith. But if somebody is, probably in India, you ask anybody, those who have not come in touch with ISKCON or any Vaishnava proper sampradaya, you ask them, भगवान को मानते हम मानते हैं, भगवान निराकार है असाकार है निराकार है, तुरंत बोल देगा वो। तो ये तो बहुत कॉमन है मतलब अगर मतलब आई हैव मतलब मैंने एक बार ये एक्सपेरिमेंट किया था अपने घर पे, सब एक्सेप्ट माय मदर एंड वन मोर, एवरीबॉडी सेड निराकार, तो सब मायावादी, सब सबसे what does it mean? But we can't do like that. What it means, we don't associate with their faith, we don't hear them very faithfully about their conception of the absolute truth. If you can preach to them, it's well and fine. Majority of them are ignorant, they don't know about what they're saying. So that's not a problem, that's what I see. But it is to make us a alarm that we know. Generally, we say scriptures are like mother. So mother slaps the child also and caresses the child also. The slap of the child of the scripture is when the scripture says these kind of verses. किया तो ऐसा होगा. It is to mother too says अगर ऐसा करोगे तो मार पड़ेगा या ऐसा होगा. And the same mother also caresses the child the same way.
And
The
Prabhuji,
scripture.
one more thing, like many of the, Vaishnavacharyas or some, from the parampara, they appreciate both, like who are having this concept of God, that that God is not having form, and they are worshipping like they themselves are like not Mayavadis, but they appreciate them also because they are practicing some spiritual thing, the Mayavadis.
Hmm.
So
Oh,
I have
okay.
seen,
That is. Hmm.
like
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
yeah, like Premanand Maharaj, one person from he was a Mayavadi from Shankaracharya group. He came and he was appreciating them. He just told that they just pray the this क्या बोलते हैं impersonal form of the Lord. They are also spiritual, and many many people from Vrindavan saints, they do that. So it's very confusing. But here it is very clearly mentioned that they are the offenders. So how
Hmm.
to understand
Hmm.
that also? Because it seems like they are so broad minded. They are appreciating them also.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Uh, uh, to be very honest with it, there are many reasons by which you can convert. I am not talking. I can't say much about the name of the Maharaj that you are taking it. With what context he's been doing it, with what understanding he's been doing it. But yeah, it can be done because we want some kind of a. If it is in a media, it has to be. Prabhupada time was very different, and Prabhupada was very different personality who can blast at the people on the stage itself. It is that's why it is a founder acharya. It takes something very, very phenomenal to be. And nobody claimed it. When some people said, "Well, Swamiji, why you said like that? As a sadhu, you should be shant." He said, "No shant." He was a very bold personality, and maybe not everybody will be like that. The stature also matters. So, if in public, if that kind of a thing is there, so we can, actually, there is nothing wrong in telling the difference between us and them very clearly. And if they are telling very clearly, they should know. Vaishnava Acharya can say that what they are doing is right. They would say what they are doing this, we are doing this, as it goes safe, because they have to play sometimes safe. It's a world of information. They can do anything, and no, at some platform we require unity among the people who are follow the God, or who are following some kind of Vedic principles. So at one level, there's some, so they may maintain that, to maintain that kind of a unity, they may be doing it. But at least I don't feel so. If somebody is a Vaishnava can say what they're doing is also, what they can't say this exclusive, so what they're doing is also correct, what we are doing is also correct. No, they should say, ideal way of saying is this, that वो ऐसे हैं, they are impersonist, they don't consider, but we consider. I don't see, but it has to be seen with what mindset and what reason is there behind what they are speaking. That's what I would say. I don't know exclusively about the personality about whom you are asking. Uh, that's what I would say. Is it okay?
Yes.
Because sometimes even when we go in an interfaith discussion, uh, it is expected that we behave so-called in the inverted commas very, very sophisticatedly. So yeah. So
We should
even
appreciate what is common, like what is common. We
yes,
should.
yes, that's true. Yeah, we'll go ahead. So this now Krishna speaks about the people who are. So Krishna speaks about that this verse about devotees now, or Mahatmas. So one category is very clear: those who deride the human form of the Lord. Now second category has been said over here: who accepts the human form of the Lord as the ultimate. There's a Mahatmas. This verse you can recite it with me. Mahatmanastu mam partha दैवीं प्रकृतिम् आश्रितः भजन्ते अनन्यमनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिम् अव्ययम्. So this verse is these three shlokas are very famous shlokas. I hope these are the shlokas which you have to memorize it. So please read the translation. Prabhuji, when you read for one more verse at least. Then.
Yes, Prabhu, I am reading from here. O son of Partha, those who are not deluded, Pritha, sorry. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in the devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
Yeah, highlighted portion. Almost entire is highlighted. Please read it.
The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is this affected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. That is the qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the preliminary formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as the living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So, when one is promoted in that way, by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains to the stage of great soul Mahatma.
It's a very just a minute. It's a
Yes.
very exclusive purport written by Prabhupada, which which is a very uniqueness in this. I would say very clearly. Prabhupada, when he's talking about Mahatma, he is saying that he is situated in a divine nature. So generally, divine nature we understand as a ladhani potency. That is right, and we have a something very high understanding about divine nature. Daivim Prakritim Ashrita. That is right. That is not wrong. Prabhupada says over here that Daivi Prakriti means who comes under the guidance of the spiritual master. Now, spiritual nature, Prabhupada writes down as the no the spiritual nature. He is talking about, uh, and then actually he says how one comes into that. He is put under uh, uh, the divinity is freed from the control of material nature, and then he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called as Daivi Prakriti. But the guidance of the spiritual nature actually means for us the spiritual master. So one who gives up grossly at least gets freedom from the control of material nature by following the four principles of of regulations, regulative principle, you know, and and then he follows the spiritual master. He is under the guidance of the spiritual nature. uh. So when one is promoted in that way by surrendering to Supreme Personality, one attains this stage of great soul Mahatma. So this is Mahatma, and he eventually, he at once becomes freed from the control of material nature fully. That is a qualification. One can become free as soon as he surrenders. Now he probably writes something very beautiful also. Read Mahatma.
The Mahatma does not divert attention to anything outside Krishna because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. Such a Mahatma or great soul develops through association with other Mahatmas, pure devotees. Pure devotees are not even attracted by Krishna's other features, such as the four-armed Mahavishnu. They are not attracted to other features of Krishna, nor are they concerned with any form of a demigod or of a human being. They meditate only upon Krishna in Krishna consciousness. They are always engaged in the unswerving service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. Surrender unto.
Yeah, and Surrender to Me is a book link. So very clearly, Prabhupada has mentioned some of the qualities of a Mahatma. Uh, and I hope you can you can mark numbering in your own book if you're having it. What are the qualities of Mahatma and how one becomes Mahatma? Prabhupada has very clearly said how one becomes Mahatma if he has to associate with some other Mahatma. That's how he becomes Mahatma. Because devotee association is the thing which makes the person advance. Uh, the kind of devotee association that he has, and in that kind of devotee association, the kind of exchanges that he has, that kind of. And one place in one of the books of Shivram Maharaj, he says, no, devotee association doesn't mean that we come together and go for a movie. Maharaj, that is not devotee association. That is equivalent to, uh, a karmi association, kind of a thing. So over here, he says very clearly that Mahatma is one who has surrendered into the is Daivi Prakriti Ashrita. He has freed himself from the control of material nature. And it happens, and he does not divert his attention towards anything outside Krishna, and then he qualifies this statement more by saying that even not the four-armed form. ये तो हमारे लिए बहुत आगे का बात है four-armed form को भी ना बोलना. We are not so uh, but we very well know Krishna, the two-armed, is the highest. That is to be the object of our worship. But it's not that we don't go in front of Balaji. It's not. This is not where we are right now. Now, Balaji, Prabhupada said Balaji is a Balakrishna. So not a problem in that way. So Prabhupada says, so there are four qualifiers, for Mahatma, which he says. He is a surrendered soul. He actually he is out of the control of the material nature. He is he's the one who does not divert his attention anything outside Krishna. Outside Krishna means nothing which is disconnected from Krishna. He is interested into it. Not even the four-arm form of the Lord. And how you become Mahatma? When you associate with Mahatma. No, that's that kind of a thing. So over here said like that. Said like that. It is this verse, is about is saying that men, those men who actually understands the greatness of the Lord. So and or those who and those who become great, great devotees. They than these asuras who deride me. So these people who reject my form, they are asuri. Those who accept my form and surrender to me, they are Mahatmas. And such Mahatmas, Ananya Manasaha, their mind do not dwell on anything, any other desire. Their mind Ananya Manasaha, Ananya Bhakti, केवल भक्ति, अनन्य मनसा, केवल भगवान, उसके लिए और कुछ नहीं है जगत में. वो अपना that person does not gives his heart to anyone. His heart is exclusively for the Lord. है ना? Or for him, his heart does not resonate with anything of this world. It only resonates with Krishna. And when we say Krishna, we can't eliminate the devotee, right? No? So his heart resonates with only these personalities, Krishna and the devotees, those who are also Ananya Bhaktas. So what happens to these kind of when they acquire knowledge of Maya tatam idam sarvam, then these people actually they also again attain a body avyayam. They also attain a spiritual body, an indestructible body. So this is what they actually he has been saying, that those who respect my form, these are Mahatmas. And because they respect my form, they are called as big-minded people, broad-minded people. Prabhupada always says Mahatma is a broad-minded. We have a very much understanding. We have a lot of talk, general people, in devotee association. We may also talk about broad-mindedness and narrow-mindedness. Broad-minded, Mahatma. तो महात्मा है तो broad-minded है. महात्मा नहीं है, broad-minded नहीं. Because broad-mindedness doesn't mean that we accept anything or everything as fine. So broad-minded is a Mahatma. He's a Daivim Prakriti Mashrita. And he has no taste for even 1,000 head Purusha Shukta prayers which has been said. He doesn't have a taste for it. So he accepts, such a person accepts the Daivi Prakriti with conviction. What conviction? That the Lord, with the human form, is the cause of all divinities and a human as well as Brahma, Shiva, Bhutadim, and I am his eternal servant. Bhajanti. I am supposed to serve him. This is the consciousness of a Mahatma or Ananya Manasa. So I hope it's very clear to all of you. This is about Mahatmas. Mahatmas are very great people. Uh, Prabhupada surely says, Mahatma you just don't become by adding a suffix to your word, your name, Mahatma. He actually pinpoints to Mahatma Gandhi in that. Mahatma does not become by just by a name. These are the qualifications of Mahatma. So one thing is very clear: Mahatma has to accept the human-like form and should understand the human-like form of the Lord as a cause of all living entities and a cause of all human, uh, as well as Brahma and Shiva and everything. And that form, the human-like form of the Lord, is eternal, and he serves it, and he serves nothing else except that form. He is deeply absorbed in it. He is Ananda Manasa, he is a Mahatma. So that's what has been said. So now, then, what is the no? What is the request from somebody to read? Okay.
Prabhu, I want to go to some doctor, Prabhu, due to some emergency.
No
My
issues, no
in-laws got
issues, no issues,
other devotee
no
can
issues, no
read.
issues. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
correct.
Somebody can do.
Some
So
next
now,
verse.
Hare Krishna.
yes, Roji.
Yes, may I read?
Yeah, you read from here, Roji. I'll show you where. So now the next verse is about what this devotee actually does. How he performs his bhakti, how he performs worships the Lord. This is the verse, 14th number. Please recite together with me. Satatam kirtayanto ma yatantascha dhritavratah namasyantascha ma bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Now please read slowly.
Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. May I read the purport?
This is.
Yeah. Purport. The Mahatma cannot be manufactured by rubber stamping an ordinary man. His symptoms are described here. A Mahatma is always engaged in chanting the glories of the Supreme Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead. He has no other business. He is always engaged in the glorification of the Lord.
So this is what is coming the same way. Uh, Same way it is coming that he's always engaged. He's always in satatam. He is always engaged in chanting his glories. Then he says over here, such a Mahatma, please read.
Such a Mahatma has firm determination to achieve at the ultimate end the association of the Supreme Lord in any one of the five transcendental rasas. To achieve that success, he engages all activities, mental, bodily, and vocal, everything in the service of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. That is full Krishna consciousness. In devotional service, there are certain activities which are called which are called determined, such as fasting on certain days, like the 11th day of the moon Ekadashi, and on the appearance day of the Lord. All these rules and regulations are offered by the great acharyas for those who are actually interested in getting admission into the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the transcendental world. The Mahatmas, great souls, strictly observe all these rules and regulations, and therefore they are sure to achieve the desired result. As described in the second verse of this chapter, not only is this devotional service easy, but it can be also performed in a happy mood. One does not need to undergo any severe penance or austerity. He can live this life in devotional service, guided by an expert spiritual master, and in any position, either as a householder or a sannyasi or a brahmachari. In any position and anywhere in the world, he can perform the devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and thus become actually Mahatma, a great soul.
Yes. So over here now is so clearly Prabhupada is actually is presented it that no, you are able to hear me or there's some background sound that you are hearing. I'm just asking.
It's clear, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay, very good. So this Mahatma actually what he does, Satatam Kirtayanto Ma. So he constantly glorifies the Lord. That's what Prabhupada says, that he's always engaged in the glorification of the Lord and nowhere into the glorification of is not attached to any impersonal aspect of the Lord. Nowhere. Not even demigods. Forget demigods over here. So then what he does? Yatantascha Dhridavrataha. Right now. So Yatantashta Vrata is for, actually when Prabhupada is mentioning about performance of Ekadashis uh, and fastings on those days. Means generally fasting is bit tough for people. Um, you know, uh, some people health crumbles. That is a different thing. But whether the health crumbles or not crumbles, for many, it's for many people it's not so easy to shut down their tongue. No, or shut down their mind, and which keeps on craving. So, but such people, what they do, and those who Dhritarvataha, they are very determined. So they are very determined in performing, these all strict rules, for themselves. You know, they very strictly follow these kinds of rules, and they are yatanti. Oh, they no. My devotee, actually, Krishna says, in order to obtain devotional process, they do lot of endeavor, you know, and and they strictly follow it also, Dhritarvata. So this, analogy is being spoken, how they perform, how they are very eager, yatanti, they seek out the the devotional process with great eagerness. The analogy is spoken that just as somebody who's a very poor beggar man, he is striving for money. So just a poor man, with what intensity he goes to a wealthy man to get, you know, to get the wealth. Or there is somebody who is very poor, family man, and he has no money to maintain his family. With what kind of eagerness will he go in front of the some rich man, so that he can get the money and support his family? With that kind of eagerness, and the devotee, this devotee, actually, he tries to obtain the devotional process. And once obtained, the devotional process is through the guru, they very strictly follow, you know, these things. They think if I, they may do a certain number of rounds, like we see no devotees doing in Kartik month or some month on Ekadashis. They take certain more than number of 16 number of chant. Say more than 16 rounds they may chant. They may take as a vrata. Uh, some people may take vrata also. Some devotees they take different vratas. Some say sweet nahi khaunga. It's quite a very famous vrata in the devotee community. So, or like Raghunath Das Goswami has a vrata. These many rounds I'll chant, these many obeisances to the deities I'll pay, these many obeisances to the Vaishnavas I will pay every day. These kind of vrata he takes it. No, or for us, I read every day these many pages of Prabhupada book, right? Or I memorize some shlokas. Or I'll preach to that many people in a year and make them into come to a certain number of rounds. Any vrata he takes it, for the Lord, for the pleasure of the Lord, for glorification of the Lord. So they do it with a dhrita vrata. They very strictly follow it. And somebody say, "Acha, theek hai." No, he may take the vrata and do it, but vrat khatam ho jane ke baad, after the vrata is finished, then what? No, he's nitya yukta. These are verses which is word which has been very succinctly kept by Krishna in these shlokas. So they, they are nitya yukta. They are always engaged in it. They always desire to be in my eternal association with me. This is a rule. This is a rule. These are the rules which the Mahatmas they follow. So so all at all times, they they satatam kirtayanto mam means what? They always glorify me. Whether they don't consider much about the time, about purity of at all. No, they don't much consider about purity of time and place. All time they glorify me. No, they are engaged. That's why some devotees may sing in the bathroom also. That's not a pure place, but at all times. without considering of the time and place. They glorify me. They worship me, and they even said, and they glorify me how? Oh, and they worship me how? Oh, with loudly chanting the Lord's name, like we go to in Harinam, without any shame. You know, devotees they go out on the street and call out the Lord's name by raising their hand, even dancing. Yeah, that's how they do. So and they do kirtan of my qualities, of my pastimes. That's how they do. And they also come to my temple. They perform. They do obeisances. They follow, and they do all they no they pay obeisances. I mean to say, they sing my glories. That's how they are. They are very diligent. No, they are very expert in in discriminating the real nature of my form and qualities. Uh, Not the discriminating. They are very expert actually looking for associating with devotees with whom they can discuss about my form and qualities. Nah, and this is how this is my devotees are. Nah, they strictly follow these things of Ekadashi, Janmashtami, other sacred and Nitya Yuga. They have an eternal relationship with me. They're always engaged in my worship in that way. So that's how actually these Mahatmas actually they live. So this is the previous these two verses, the 13th and the 14th verse, actually over here is speaking about the Mahatmas, that how Mahatmas or Ananda Bhakta worship Krishna constantly with devotion. Now, from the 15th verse, which we are going to see now Krishna says about Krishna ne bol diya, foolish people, how they worship me and what happens to them. Mahatma people, how they worship me. Then, and then now he's saying, Jnani. There are Jnanis who worship me also. uh. So there are three kinds of Jnanis, and that at 15th to 19th, 15th to 19th is about them. Let's see how much we can complete. Probably we'll be able to complete it. Any questions you all have till now, because the subject matter is going to change. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. If not, then we'll proceed. Okay, we'll proceed. Please recite these shlokas with me. Next shloka, 17th, 15th. ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप चापयन्ने यजन्तो माम् उपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्. Yeah, please read through.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form.
So before you
Purport.
read,
Yeah.
I'll just explain the translation. So these people who are jnani, you know, who are who engage in the sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge. So that they mainly depend on the cultivation of knowledge. This knowledge is not bhakti wala knowledge. Huh? This is not about that. Uh, Reading Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam CC is not cultivation of knowledge, right? Now, this is jnani is of different category. He worships how considers ekatvena. He worships the Lord, considering himself to be the Lord, ekatvena. Then diverse in many, bahudena, pritakwena, diverse in many, means in demigods and all, and in universal form, Vishwarupa. So these people, so by Gyan alone, only one can come to this much understanding of the Lord only. Either they may come to the understanding that they are one with the Lord, or they may consider the Lord is Pritakwena, diverse in many, and they worship the demigods, Panchopasana, and all those things, and or the Vishwarup, Prakriti. They worship the Prakriti. That's what happens with them. Now, Prabhupada, it's a very beautiful purport. Please read through.
Purport. This verse is the summary of the previous verses. The Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatma. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of Mahatma, but who worship Krishna also in different ways. Some of them have already been described as the distressed, the financially destitute, the inquisitive, and those who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. But there are others who are still lower, and these are divided into three. First, he who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord. Second, he who concocts some form of the Supreme Lord and worships that. And third, he who accepts the universal form, the Vishwa Rupa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worships that. Uh, shall I read further?
Yes, yes.
Out of the above three, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to be monists, are most predominant. Such people think themselves to be the Supreme Lord, and in this mentality, they worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship, for they can understand that they are not the material body, but are actually spirit soul. At least such a sense is prominent. Generally, the impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. The second class includes the worshipper of the demigods, those who by imagination consider any form to be of the Supreme Lord. And the third class includes those who cannot conceive of anything beyond the manifestation of the material universe. They consider the universe to be the supreme organism of entity and worship that. The universe is also a form of the Lord.
Yeah, so that's what happens, with these kind of people. They are actually, they take us, they come to this understanding of, that the Lord is actually uh, is myself is the Lord. Means, I merge into the Lord, or they worship some demigod as the representative of the Lord, or as the Lord, or they may consider Vishwarup, the Prakriti, the nature, to be as the Lord. So now, as Prabhupada said, this in this verse summarizes the previous. So thus, in this chapter and the previous chapter, the Ananda Bhakti Mahatma is very clear. Mahatmas, the Ananda Bhaktas, the Mahatmas are shown very superior to other people who approach the Lord, you know, to rid himself of suffering. Right now. So because over there you might have read that verses, Artha, Arthati, Jigyasu, Gyani, all these people. So no, it's very clear. But now, Lord is like very exclusively speaking about three kind of people who are not been mentioned till now. These are three: Ekatvena, Pritakwena, Vishwarupam, Bahuda. So there is one Madhusudan Saraswati. Actually, he says, which is not the Vaishnava philosophy. Prabhupada actually somewhere he quotes him, and he says about these vendors following, saying Madhusudan Saraswati. Actually, he says the first category of the people who consider themselves to be with God, they are better than the other two, which is not the right. Uh, 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 because why he says like that? It's also Prabhupada actually goes and says that like that, as he explains in one of the lecture. Because what happens is that these people who consider, or they worship solely themselves, with the identity that they are with God. So themselves means they consider themselves to the not the body but spirit soul at least, right? So that's the meaning is that these they does not desire any other form of sadhana, but they worship the Lord by contemplating that they are soul, and once they are mukta from all the illusory energy, they will become the god. That's why they worship themselves. So this is not the way which is a proper, and it is not considered the highest by our Vaishnava philosophers. This is about Madhusudan Saraswati. I just told because many people quote him. So that's what has been said. So such people actually, uh, such people who think himself to be God, that kind of worshippers are called as aham agra upasana. I am the agra, agra upasana karna, aham agra upasana. And the second kind of people who worship the vibhutis of the Lord, taking taking one and worshipping it separately, like demigod or some the vibhutis of the Lord, any vibhuti of the Lord, that they are called as pratiko upasana, right now. And some people who worship, and some people may worship the, Vishwarupa, as considered uh, that the Vishnu is everything in the terms of, the nature, uh, anything that we see, they are called Vishwarupa Upasana. So these are three kinds of Jnana Yajna. These are three types of Jnana Yajna, basically. Aham Agro Upasana, Pratipako Upasana, and Vishwarupa Upasana. Right now, we are none of them. We are Vishwarupa Upasak, surely we are not Pratipaksha Upasak, and surely we are not Aham Agro Upasana. Right now, we are not any one of them. These people. So Krishna, actually, why he has spoken this? Very simple. Because he has spoken about his devotee, Mahatma, who has a predominance of a pure devotee, and he is very greatly, he is interested in chanting and doing Satatam Kirtayantama, very fixed up. So now Krishna has spoken in these verses that those who have a predominance of jnana, with the process of bhakti, sasa, chanting, and secondary actions. So this is why he is putting it over here. See, that's why I told to you, this section of chapter 7 to 12 does not talks about the Ananya Bhakti, but also talks about Pradhani Bhut or Guni Bhut Bhakti. So Lord, that's why Lord over here is telling Arjuna, oh, there are some people who worship who worship me with the predominance of Jnana, not with the predominance of Bhakti. But these people who are worshipping me with the predominance of a Jnana also process the bhakti path as a chanting, but as a secondary action. These are very dangerous kind of people because they may appear to us as a devotee chanting, but they have predominance of jnana. So same, if you remember in CC, there was one person who accompanied with Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, if I'm not wrong. He was coming with Raghunath Bhatt Goswami while he was going to meet Lord Chaitanya. And he was throughout the way, Raghunath Bhatt Goswami was very happy because throughout the way this person was chanting Ram, 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 Ram. And in fact, actually, he was so humble that he said that I'll carry your luggage. And finally, when Raghunath Bhatt Goswami goes in front of the Lord Chaitanya, and there that person is also standing, Ram Das Vishwas, I hope so, that's his name. And then, and the Lord is not seeing in that man's direction also. So Raghunath Bhatt Goswami is saying, "Arey, he's talking to me, but why he's not seeing in this man's direction?" So later on, the Lord said, he is chanting Ram's name, wanting to become Ram. So no, these are more deadly kind of a no. Yeah. So this is why it has been said that ekatvena, pratatvena, bahudena. Oh, very dangerous. Like this is Gyan Yagya wala people. They are nowhere apart to nowhere close to Mahatmas. So this is why Krishna has spoken. And then from next verse, he's going to speak about, specifically about Vishwarup Upasak. Yeah. How does the Vishwarup Upasak actually does the Upasana? Yes, Mataji. You have a question.
Yes, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, it's very confusing. Like in the 7th chapter, Krishna is saying that Gyani is Gyanis are most dear to me among all these Sukritinas. So this Gyani is different from that because it doesn't come in this category, all the three category.
Yeah, these Gyanis are not this. See, that Gyani has a, has piety, has, and also has, yeah, these those Gyanis are also people actually who have understanding of, the form of the Lord. They accept it. Whereas, but those Gyanis are generally very inquisitive, you know, but those Gyanis are also very well glorified because they come to him, and that is why they are. If they come in touch with the devotees, then they will follow the right path. If they don't come in touch with the devotee, and they just keep on speculating, being inquisitive, they may run towards these of the one of the three. So Krishna says that he's the wisest. No, wisest means artho arthati jigyasu and jnani. But the jnani also does not has understanding of the personal feature of the Lord. That has also been said. He doesn't has an understanding of the personal feature of the Lord, but his quality is that he has come to, right now. So that is why he is glorified. As such, there is no point of glorifying him. Is that okay? Or it
No,
is not okay, then I'll explain more.
yeah, no, Prabhuji. Actually, I'm little confused. I don't understand. Here it is written that in the seventh chapter one that he realizes that Lord is different from his material body, right? And here it is mentioned that he's thinking that he's Lord, or he's thinking that he's worshipping the universal form or the devtas. So here the four seekers, it is a preliminary form, right? They have just started knowing, like Gyanis or the Arthartis or the you know and here they are, I don't know, I'm confused. The term Gyani used here, how we can understand it is different from what he's saying here. Means here also he's saying Gyani only. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Sorry. Lastly, what you were saying, I could not hear, Mataji.
जी मेरा बोलने का ये मतलब है कि यहाँ पे जो लोग अ, बहुत प्रिलिमिनरी स्टेट में होते हैं वो भक्ति में आने ही वाले होते हैं, यहाँ पे मेंशन्ड है वो ज्ञानी, उनमें से एक मेंशन्ड है कि ज्ञानी, ठीक है। एंड इसमें लेकिन उसमें लिखा है कि they realize that Lord is different from his material energy. So it's very confusing that how this 5.17 wala 7.17 wala gyani is so realized that you know
Yeah, actually, no, it is not so confusing. Now, there's a little difference. Actually, these people are also worshipping. They're also, that's why the Lord is telling about them. Uh, these are also the Gyanis. But if this Gyan, but only difference between these two categories is just one. Uh, or I would say they are same people, but their fortunations, being fortunate is a bit different. Those Gyanis, if they go to the Lord and they understand that I'm different, the Lord is different. They have some understanding of the Lord. They understand themselves to be the Atma, not the body. They're different from that. They understand. I agree with it. But if those people they don't come to actually worship taking bhakti, then only with their that mentality they can understand these three only. You know, these three things on ekatvena, pritakwena, bahudena. I hope it is clear. I am saying it in a simple word. ज्ञानी वही है वो अभी अगर वो भक्ति के मार्ग पे ले लिया उसने तो चला जाएगा, अच्छी बात है। ही इज अ वेरी फास्ट, बिकॉज उसको पता है मैं आत्मा हूँ, शरीर नहीं हूँ। और एकत्वेने को तो भी पता है ना, आत्मा नहीं हूँ मैं, आत्मा हूँ मैं, शरीर नहीं हूँ।
But
बट उसको ये लगता,
but
हाँ
in
उसको ये,
preliminary stage, he was more advanced. He seems to be more advanced in his preliminary stage because अगर उसको मतलब कोई भक्त
दैट इज
मिला
राइट,
तो
दैट इज राइट व्हाट यू आर सेइंग, दैट इज व्हाट यू आर सेइंग। इन दैट स्टेज among artho arthati the highest, ओके, बट नॉट among महात्मास। वो ऐसे ही हो गया कि कोई कोई स्टूडेंट अपने स्कूल में टॉपर होता था, आईआईटी पहुंचा तो टॉपर नहीं रहा, वहां पे सब टॉपर ही लोग आए।
हाँ, और प्रभु जी एक
दैट्स दैट्स
ने कि इसमें प्रभु महाराज मतलब इसमें भगवान बोल रहे हैं ही इज वेरी डियर टू मी, बट व्हेन हियर these three categories we don't feel that he's any more dear to God. So
yeah, so he is that is right, he is very sorry, they were doing something over here, I got into it. So uh, that is right, that that Gyani is Krishna is saying is very dear to me, and that is right. Oh, but over here actually he has, if he has a much probability of taking to bhakti path, but if he does not stick to the bhakti path, he sticks to his jnana, that's what is going to happen with it. That's what has been said. Somebody is who is fortunate who takes up to bhakti, who could not take up to bhakti is not. So I have an inclination towards bhakti, is well and fine. There are many people whom we will see that they have this understanding that they are not about their spiritual. There are many, but they don't come to actually following Krishna or obeying the Lord or surrendering to the Lord, accepting. Uh, that becomes a problem for them. They just stick to where they were, and then that's what comes to it. I hope this much only I can say right now.
yes,
Is that this is the same people, but the difference is where they whether they accept the fortunate path. That's it. I hope to we have to go ahead now to the next verse. Yes. Aham. Okay, now somebody else can read. Aham kartur aham yajna swadhaham swadha swadhaham aushadham mantro aham aham evajyam aham agnir aham hutam. Please read the translation. Any one of you, please.
Prabhuji, can I read?
Yeah. Anyway.
But it is I who am the ritual, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering.
So
Shall I?
now I as it yes. Uh, now onwards the Lord in this series of shlokas, probably over here if you see Bhuta Gita Subodhi very clear. And as from 16th to 19th, he is going to talk about Vishwarupa Upasana. How does the Vishwarupa Upasak, who is one of kind of a Jnani, and he worships the Lord. So he sees this way, the way it has been mentioned over here, that I am the ritual, I the sacrifice, I the offering, the pitras to whom I offer, the ancestors. I am the healing herb, the transcendental chant, and I am everything. Oh yeah, you read the entire.
The Vedic sacrifice known as Jyotishtoma is also Krishna, and he is also the Mahayagya mentioned in the Smriti. The oblations offered to the Pitraloka, or the sacrifice performed to please the Pitralok, considered as a kind of drug in the form of clarified butter, is also Krishna. The mantras chanted in this connection are also Krishna, and many other commodities made with milk products for offering in the sacrifices are also Krishna. The fire is also Krishna because fire is one of the five material elements and is therefore claimed as the separated energy of Krishna. In other words, the Vedic sacrifices recommended in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedas are in total also Krishna. Or, in other words, those who are engaged in rendering devotional service unto Krishna are to be understood to have performed all the sacrifices recommended in the Vedas.
Yeah. So, Prabhupada, gives that kind of a, he's explaining to us that how the Lord actually, and he's saying that I am everything, so the first word which has been said in this verse, aham kartur, the Vedic ritual, and aham yajna. There are two different words, kratur and yajna. Kratur, technically, it's been said the Vedic sacrifice known as Jyotishtoma. Basically it means that sacrifices which is based on Shruti, which is mentioned in Shruti, like this what is in Jyotishtoma, is called as Kratu, and Yagyas are the sacrifice which is mentioned in the Smriti, called Vesvaveda Homa, something like that. And Aushadhim, when he says, is actually, is a food which is made by the herbs. So he's saying I'm all these things, and so that's what Prabhupada is also explaining over here. Swadaham aham aushadam mantro aham evagyam aham agni aham hutam. So it's very amazing that the Lord is the sacrifice. The Lord is the ritual, is the sacrifice. He is the one who is actually offering to the ancestors, Aushadham, and actually he is the Aushadham. He's a Swadhaham. Basically, is a, and he is a transcendental chant also. He is the butter also, the fire also, and the offering also. He is everything. This is how actually a Vishwarupa Upasak sees. He sees the Lord, and it is not wrong. This is not wrong. Also, because actually it is everything is the energy of the Lord. If you remember the seventh chapter, over there in the beginning verses, Krishna openly says, very very clearly says that eh, everything is my energy, including the material and the inferior and the superior energy. Inferior energy is the material energy. Superior energy is we, the jivas. So all is he only. It's actually because very famously we say, he's the cause of everything, the basis of everything, the essence of everything. So in this way, this is how actually these Vishwarupa Upasak actually sees the Lord and worships the Lord. Only thing, it is a bit of an indirect worship. It is not direct worship to the Lord because they are worshipping the energies of the Lord. They are not worshipping the form of the Lord. Right. So this is why it's been said. And in our own person application, it is we can understand that actually, everything is the Lord and should be used for the service of the Lord. And it is He who is all this. तो अब भगवान ही है तो उनको ही खिलाना चाहिए ना, जिसका है जो है उनको ही. That's the meaning over here instead over here. So next verse we will read. These are a series of slokas up till 19. I'll try to cover it and then I'll end. In between, if you get a question, you can ask. Pitaham, pitaham asya jagato, mata dhata pitamaha, Veda pavitram omkara, riksam yaju evacha. Please read.
I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sam, and the Yajurvedas. Prabhuji, purport also.
Purport. Yes, yes, yes.
The entire cosmic manifestations, moving and non moving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. In the material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appear as our father, mother, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually, they are parts and parcels of Krishna. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc., are nothing but Krishna. In this verse, the word dhata means creator. Not only are our father and mother parts and parcels of Krishna, but the creator, grandmother, and grandfather, etc., are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. All the Vedas, therefore, aim only toward Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step toward understanding Krishna. That subject matter, which helps us purify our constitutional position, is especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and parcel of Krishna, and as such is also Krishna. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranav, is a transcendental sound vibration and is also Krishna. And because in all the hymns of the four Vedas, Sam, Yajur, Rig, and Atharva, the Pranav or Omkar is very prominent. It is understood to be Krishna.
So, Prabhupada is writing, in his purport, he's is saying it that when Krishna is saying, Pitaham asya jagato, see, I am the Pita of the Jagat, I am the father of the universe, not just the father, you know, you know, I'm Mata also. Okay, sir. Yeah, Mata, that is also understand. Yeah, Dhata also. And he supported it also. Pitamaha, the grandsire also, the grandsire. So he is telling to us, you know, either we consider it as this to be as a fact as a universe, or maybe considered as once in one's own life. So actually, there's nothing wrong if a devotee who is a worshipper of the form of the is a worshipper of the 200 form of the Lord also sees the world in this way. The only problem with these people, Vishwarupa Upasak, is they don't consider the form of the Lord, the 200 form of the Lord as the great. They consider this to be great, whereas we know that 200 form of the Lord is great, and this is his energies. So in that way, we should read these verses, which has been stated over here. So the Lord is the Pita of the universe, and the Lord is our Pita also. Or we can say, actually, any relationship in this world, proper, I hope he writes it over here. Uh, uh, should, uh, okay, in material existence, we create different relationship with different divinities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appears as a father, some appears as a mother, some as a grandfather, some as a creator. But actually they are part and parcels of Krishna. So one thing as being as a devotee of the Lord, or we are trying to be his devotee of the Lord, of his devotee. Actually, we can understand that any relationship we have is the presence of Krishna has to be seen in that, because actually he is the and seeing Krishna in that relationship means what? fulfilling that, or and doing whatever the duty is attached to that relationship in a way that Krishna will be happy. That's what I when I read. That's what I try to figure it. This is how actually the world, the relationships are. That we are he's our father, he's our mother, he's our grandfather, he's our creator. By the way, he also says, I am the object of the knowledge. I am the purifier, the syllable Om. I am the Rig, Vyaj, Yajur, Sam. All three. So all three are the sources of the knowledge. So I remember, this means the same is also applicable for the knowledge. The knowledge that we have to know is from Krishna. And it has to be used or delineated in a way that Krishna will be happy. So when Prabhupada in one of uh, conversation, probably perfect question, perfect answer. Probably. Bob Cohen. Bob Cohen is in perfect question, perfect answer. If you
Yes,
remember.
Prabhuji.
So yes. So in that he is a chemistry teacher, actually. That's what I remember. He's a chemistry teacher. He's a chemistry professor. And then finally he's asking Prabhupada, so Swamiji, what do you want from me? Do you want that I should now don't teach chemicals to people? I just teach about God? Prabhupada says, no, no, no. Your duty, you are as a chemistry teacher, you teach chemistry, you teach chemical, but tell people all these chemicals comes from Krishna. You know? So that's the meaning. Krishna it is not to say that you don't teach, he is saying, but teach the right chemistry. That all these things comes from him. And it should be used in a way that is favorable to his service. That's the meaning, even for the knowledge and among all the purifier. So, so regarding when he says about Mata Pita Dhata, actually our acharyas have written something regarding to the universe as proper, as it is said of the I'm for those I'm Mata Pita Dhata of the universe. So when he says I am the father, because I give rise to the individual, right? An individual, I give rise to the total ingredient, the material cause of the universe. So I am the father in that way. I am the cause of the material universe. I know, and I'm the mother means I hold the universe within my womb. Like Mahavishnu, in the Mahavishnu way, the Lord holds the universe in his womb. And actually, uh, and as a material cause means as a Mahavishnu, he actually holds the Pradhan. So Pradhan, no, so that's how he holds the as Mata and Pita. Pita is the cause for the for as a Pita he's the cause for the universe, and the Mata he holds the universe within his womb, and he's a Dhata. Dhata, he's the nourisher of the universe. He's a maintainer of the universe. Krishna in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 7 point Matta Parataram Nanyat Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya. In that verse, he says Sutra Manigana Iva. He is telling over there is that how I am the maintainer of everything also, material and spiritual. The way the pearls are maintained by the thread, same way everything in this world is maintained by me. So that is why he is nourisher of the universe also. And I am the grandfather. I am the grandfather because why? Because I produce the creator of the universe, Brahma. He's the grandfather also. So his Pita, his Mata, his Bhata, his Parampita also. He's the grandfather also. And I am the object to be known through the study of all the Vedas, and also the object which purifies. There are many ways of purification in this world, and there people do a lot of, but one has to know the objective. What somebody asks, oh, please pray for me so that I can become purified. But finally, a devotee wants to become purified for what reason? To worship the Lord. because he is the object of the he is the object of the he is the goal of purification, and he is the object which purifies also. Right. He is the object to be known, and he is the object which purifies. So, and he is the object which purifies means we can say it. He is the most purest personality in this world, and whoever comes in touch with him in any way gets purified. Amalam, he is so, and he is the object to be known in the sense that the study of the Vedas should lead to the understanding of the Lord. You know? So that is how this verse talks about it. That I am the Pita, Mata, I am the uh, Pitaham Asya Jagato, Mata Dhata Pitamaha. Vedayam Pavitram Omkara, Riksam Yajur Evacha. That's what he says. And now the next verse he talks about uh, the same. He's talking about the universal, how the Vishwarup Upasak worships the Lord. Gatir Bhar, Gatir Bhar, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Shakshi, Nivasa Sharanam Suhit, Prabhava Pralaya Sthanam, Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. Please read the question.
I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place and the eternal seat. Gati means the destination where we want to go, but the ultimate goal is Krishna, although people do not know it. One who does not know Krishna is misled, and his so called progressive march is either partial or hallucinatory. There are many who make us their destination, different demigods, and by rigid performance of the strict respective methods, they reach different planets known as Chandralok, Suryalok, Indralok, Maharlok, etc. But all such lokas or planets, being creations of Krishna, are simultaneously Krishna and not Krishna. Such planets, being manifestations of Krishna's energy, are also Krishna, but actually they serve only as a step forward for realization of Krishna. To approach the different energies of Krishna is to approach Krishna indirectly. One should directly approach Krishna, for that will save time and energy. For example, if there is a possibility of going to the top of a building by the help of an elevator, why should one go by the staircase, step by step? Everything is resting on Krishna's energy. Therefore, without Krishna's shelter, nothing can exist. Krishna is the supreme
Yeah,
ruler.
that's fine. So this much is fine. I had is the explanation of same category. Okay, let us complete it. It's proper structure. Let us complete this question answer. Please continue. Sorry.
Therefore, without Krishna's shelter, nothing can exist. Krishna is the supreme ruler because everything belongs to him and everything exists on his energy. Krishna, being situated in everyone's heart, is the supreme witness. The residences, countries, or planets on which we live are also Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate goal of shelter, and therefore one should take shelter of Krishna either for protection or for annihilation of his distress. And whenever we have to take protection, we should know that our protection must be a living force. Krishna is the supreme living entity. And since Krishna is the source of our generation, or the Supreme Father, no one can be a better friend than Krishna, nor can anyone be a better well wisher. Krishna is the original source of creation and the ultimate rest after annihilation. Krishna is therefore the eternal cause of all causes.
Yeah, this is very specific purports. So clearly, Prabhupada is mentioning about actually how a devotee actually should understand these concepts also, which is actually for Vishwarupa Upasak. So Prabhupada is saying over here, Gati means the destination. So one has to know that one should not be misled, but one should have always progressive march towards Krishna, not towards hallucinatory process. Means what? We should very clear. Uh, we actually, as a devotee, we should always see that whatever destination, gati, where we want to go, is that will lead me to Krishna or lead me to Itarata, something apart from Krishna. So any gati that we are, any ambition that person may have, actually he should understand, he should evaluate, and by whether it will make me attain Krishna or make me attain some partially or hallucinatory some goal. So that's the gati. Then Prabhupada says that people who make their destination a different demigod. So okay, in this world, generally people are not at all has to do with any god or any demigod. Generally, they have only to do who is going to fulfill their ambition, their desire. So, and accordingly, who is going to help them, they take the shelter. But no, and also we can understand. So, no, if we take shelter uh, of somebody, then accordingly, the gati would be pitrayanti pitirvata bhutanti bhutegya. So if so, my gati won't be then Krishna, and that is not the proper, because ultimate gati is He. Also, all the gatis that all the gatis that are there in this world finally leads to Krishna. But it is Prabhupada is giving that example when there is a direct method of elevator, then why to go to the staircase up? He's giving an example. So basically, people who are looking for different gatis, they are going to Indraloka, Chandraloka, all those lokas. Actually, it is okay. It's a step forward in that direction, but that step is a direct step. Yeah, that's a very, very directly approach Krishna. Make him see prayer. So, like that, Prabhupada is explaining each one of them, and he is the he that way he's saying that, see, I am the result. Yeah, I am the result, Gati. So you should know everything is me, but directly you approach to me is fine. I am the master. Bhar- Bhratir. I am the master. I am the Prabhu, the controller. I am the Sakshi. Means I understand bad things. I am the abode, the Nivasaha. I am the Sharanam, the shelter, the deliverer from all the dangers. That is why Pralhad Maharaj says the very famous words in his prayers to um, that prayer goes like, and he says that uh, Naham. No, he says over there that the boat can't save a drowning man. What is that shloka? Very famous shloka. Anybody remembers how it begins? Seventh canto, ninth chapter. Prayers of
नारदस्य
Pralhad Maharaj.
बालस्य नेहशरणं पितरो नरसिंह
Balasya Sneha Sharanam Pitro Narasimha Nartasya Chagda Madhuvanti Najanto. So he very clearly says that Nana, father and mother, they are not the ultimate shelter, the protector from the danger. I am that. And the boat is not the ultimate protector for the drowning man. I am that. Right. The medicine is not the ultimate protector of a dying man or a doctor. I am that. So he is very, I am the deliverer from danger, Sharanam. And I am the motiveless benefactor of Suhrit. Anybody can be benefactor of us or maybe a well-wisher for us. But everybody has some motivation. But he is the only motiveless benefactor. No, such a good, that is, he can say, I am Suhrit. And other pure devotees of the Lord can be called as a Suhrit of the Jivas. Because they are motiveless. The Lord is motiveless benefactor. The devotees, the pure devotees are motive benefactors. So this is how a devotee actually should approach the Lord. And I am the act of creation, destruction, and maintenance. Prabhava pralaya sthana. Right. So he is very clearly saying about all those things. And then he says about also, I am the nidhanam, bijam, avyayam. So I am the treasurer. I am the treasurers. Many people worship Kuvera because he is considered as a treasurer of the whole. He's a demigod treasurer. There are some, but I am the treasurer, Dhanam. And there are actually there are nine sons of. If I remember well, there are nine dhanams, nine treasures, such as Padmanidhi, which has been over is Nidhanam. One of the Nidhanam is he. So the Kuver has nine treasurers, and the name also Acharya says Padmanidhi, Mahanidhi, Shankhanidhi, Makaranidhi, Kachapanidhi, Mukundanidhi, Nandananidhi, Nilanidhi. He says, but these fellows and one more Kharavanidhi. But he is saying that I am the treasurer. Now, don't worship anybody else to fill your treasury. And don't consider anybody else as your treasure. I am the treasurer. I am your treasury. I am your wealth. Yeah, that's the meaning. Or you consider the wealth that you possess as Krishna. So whichever way a devotee wants to see, he can see it. Either understand that my wealth is only. No, that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, and about that song, that you are my pati, you are my pula, you are my everything. Pula mora nitya, dhana mora nityananda, pati mora gaura chandra. He sings like that. So a devotee, he understands he is my treasury, he is my wealth, or whatever wealth I possess is Krishna, so I have to use in Krishna's service. So this is how a devotee actually sees the world and be in the world, being aloof from the world, while doing the chores of the world. And the bijam means cause which is indestructible. I am like that perishable uh, rice and other materials, seeds. No, which so his bijam for everything is the indestructible. That's the avyam is the cause, the bijam. No, all those things is the Lord. So this is about Nidhanam. Last verse we'll read for today, and then the time up, and a section also which I wanted to complete will end. Tapami tapami aham varsham nigrahnami utsrujami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sad asaksha Arjuna. Yeah, somebody else like to read it? Okay, continue. We'll end it.
That's okay, Prabhuji. Anyone else wants to read? They can.
Yeah, anybody else like to read? You can please read. Volunteer, please. First, volunteer. Please read.
I will. Prabhuji, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
O Arjun, I give heat and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me.
Purport.
Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes.
Krishna, by his different energies, diffuses heat and light through the agency of electricity and the sun. During summer season, it is Krishna who checks rain from falling from the sky, and then during the rainy season, he gives unceasing torrents of rain. The energy which sustains us by prolonging the duration of our life is Krishna, and Krishna meets us at the end as death. By analyzing all these different energies of Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna, there is no distinction between matter and spirit, or in other words, he is both matter and spirit. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinction. He sees only Krishna in everything. Since Krishna is
Continue.
both Since Krishna is both matter and spirit, the gigantic universal form comprising all material manifestations is also Krishna, and his pastimes in Vrindavan as two-handed Shyam Sundar, playing on a flute, are those of the supreme personality of Godhead. Surrender unto me.
Surrender to me is a book which reference is been put in Vedas. So Krishna over here is saying that uh, I am tapami, I am the heat. So he's the heat. So electricity.
Prabhuji, you are muted by mistake.
Yeah, no issues. So so all the forms of heat, which is there, electricity and a sun, and because of the sun only the rains gets evaporated, the water gets evaporated in the rainy season. Now we are getting the rains. So he is the I withhold and send forth the rain. He can withhold and send torrential rains, or he may create that dry. I am immortality. The energy of this. I am the death. I am that immortality. So he is, and I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. So Prabhupada writes one statement which is very beautiful. That all these different energies of Krishna, one can ascertain that for Krishna there is no distinction between matter and spirit. Or in other words, he is both a matter and spirit. In the advanced stage of Krishna consciousness, one therefore makes no such distinction. He sees only Krishna in everything. But for us, the bhakti begins with discrimination between matter and spirit. Because yet till the point one is not able to see Krishna in the matter, or the matter as Krishna, he has to continue with matter and spirit. And why to distinguish? So that be away from the matter. Or be away from the matter means uh, don't indulge with the matter to enjoy. You engage the matter in the service of the Lord. That's a way of finally seeing Krishna, matter as the Krishna's energy. And one who keeps on doing it, for him then eventually no such distinction of Krishna as matter and spirit is there. So for that person, it may be like that. So in the last, over here, he is saying that see, I am the heat, I am the shower, the rain, and everything, and I am the liberation, and I am the repeated birth and death, the bondage. Mrityu. Sat Asad, I am the certain, the gross, the matter and spirit. Thus, the person thinking that I am all of this means जो हमने last third verse पढ़ा था पहले वाला of विश्वरूप उपासक का. Thus, the person who thinks all of this, thinks that I am all of this and worships me as a form of the universe. So these verses are for mentioning how the universal form worshipper he sees the world, and actually that's how he does. So, but no, we can see it in the devotional aspect also, how we can apply it in our life. And actually, it has to be seen. I just with this I'll end it. It's already 1:1. See, Krishna, you all have already read seventh chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Amazing that the section begins with the bhakti, and Krishna, rather than teaching his pastimes as a form of bhakti, he is teaching this only, that everything is me. All energies, material and spiritual, are mine. He is not teaching his form because he is not teaching about his pastimes. Because first the greatness has to be understood. Then eventually, when you read the sweetness of the Lord, when he hears this about the sweetness of the Lord, he will be mad after the Lord. But whose greatness aspect, understanding of the greatness aspect of the Lord is not clear, for him sweetness can be ठीक है सुना अच्छा लगा शायद थोड़ा रो भी सकता है but not much change will happen in his bhoktapan, his enjoyment mentality. He'll remain the same. So I end over here. If anyone of you have a question, please hold it. You ask tomorrow. Tomorrow, anyhow, I am only there, and we'll begin with the question and answer. It's already time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.